Hello Electroheads and welcome to this review of the Ford Explorer Electric, the brand new electric offering from Ford. Potentially, this has one of the best feature sets and the best range in its price category, and I think this could potentially make a really good family car. So, without any further ado, let's get on with it. Right, we're in Dorset today, folks, which is not where I live. I live in London, and that's kind of the point. So I've picked up this car in the New Forest, which is a beautiful area of England. I'm going to do a bit of a range test. So this car, the premium rear-wheel drive version of this car, it has a 350-mile range, which is quite impressive. But actually, the entry level, so the model below this, which is cheaper at £40,000, this one's about 55,000. That has a range of 375 miles. So what I want to do is take this through these countryside B roads, then I'm going to haul ass up the motorway to London, and then I'm going to drive through central London, and I'm just going to actually test the range of this vehicle to see how accurate the range claim is, because if that is accurate, then this is one of the best ranged cars out there right now. So if it passes this test today, then we're in for a treat. Okay, so what are my first impressions of this car? Because that's really what this is all about today. To drive, very pleasant. Very pleasant indeed. But also, I'm in a kind of single pedal mode at the moment, so I'm in the regen mode, and it handles quite well on these B roads, I have to say, compared to the Mustang Mach-E, which I was never a fan of because I felt like it had a bit too much body roll, you know? A bit too Beyonce in that sense. So look, it's a good solid car, but I think Ford are trying to position it maybe like the BMW Audi type kind of semi-premium level, and I think it's a bit more Skoda VW so far, which is not a bad thing. It's a really solid car, but you can tell that it's based on the VW MEB platform, which is fine. You know, the infotainment system kind of gives that away. This infotainment system, in comparison to the one on the Minis and the BMWs at the moment, this doesn't come close. But there are some nice features here in the cockpit. It's just not quite as luxurious as I was expecting it to feel, because Ford were giving it quite the beans on how luxurious it was going to feel inside. But it's kind of got that American exterior, and then it feels very sophisticated and European inside. Not that you Americans aren't sophisticated, that's not what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's just, it hasn't quite blown me away yet, but maybe that's the point of this car. I think it could be a very solid family car, and that's kind of what I want to test. And there are two things that I already absolutely love about this car. So in the magic of cutaways, I am now going to show you those two things. See you in a second. The first one is hidden here. So you push this little button, push back, and in every Ford Explorer, there's a hidden plum. I'm sorry, that's actually a lie. But I've hidden this plum in here because it's my most valuable possession. Because when the car is locked, you cannot get into this, and most people wouldn't even know it was there. And then the second feature that I really like is in this center console here. If I just take this out and I take this bribery bag out from Ford, I'm only joking, thanks for giving that to me, Ford. We've got this. And that is going up to my elbow. It's very deep. I reckon you could fit easily 6 or 7 laptops in there. And yeah, I think that's one of the best storage units I've seen on the center console of a car ever. So let's take a bit of a closer look at the spec of this car before you lot start moaning at me. This is the all-wheel drive version of the Ford Explorer, which means it has a 79 kilowatt-hour battery that fast charges to 80% in 26 minutes, with a max charging power of 185 kilowatts. With a power output of 340 PS and 545 newton meters of torque on the rear and 134 on the front, it can produce a 0 to 60 miles an hour time of 5.3 seconds. It has a max WLTP range of 566 kilometers or 350 miles. For motorway driving, this drops to around 532 kilometers or 330 miles, though you'll find out the real figure from my testing at the end of this video. On the rear-wheel drive version of this car, the range figure rises to a maximum of 600 kilometers or around 370 miles, which is very impressive, and you still get a 0 to 62 mile an hour time of 6.4 seconds, which is plenty quick enough for a family car. That model comes in at £39,000, whilst the one I'm driving today has a starting price of $45k before upgrades. It has a longer bonnet than most electric SUVs, with a low-rise windscreen that creates what I think is quite a sporty look. It comes with a bunch of modern driver assist features such as lane assist, clear exit warning, evasive steering assist, adaptive cruise control with stop-go, and pre-collision assist. All in all, there should be a lot to love about this car. Okay, so we are officially in the New Forest now, and so I'm going to start the range test. So let's jump in, see how we're doing. So as you can see there, we are on 89%, or 286 miles of range remaining. I am in eco mode, and I'm going to stay there because I like driving electric cars in eco mode, if I'm honest. We have about 100 miles left to get back to London, with a bit of driving through the New Forest included. Almost exactly 100 miles, in fact. It's 101 miles or just under. So this should be at 185 miles of range once we're back in London. So that's what we're going to test today. And there's some horses over there, so maybe we'll go and say hello to some horses as well.
A few moments later.
Right, so we're just going to see what this horse is saying, which is not something I thought I'd ever say on a car review before. This is the amazing thing about the New Forest, is you basically just drive through and there's a wild horse in the middle of the road, and I'm going to see if it wants a bit of bread actually, because I do actually have a little bit of bread from my sandwich. Hello matey, do you like some bread? Do you like food? He does not want the food, not at all, but he's very sweet. Horses! We're just pootling along now in the lovely New Forest. The range is holding up absolutely fine. I'm on 88%. I've driven about 3 miles and I've lost 3 miles of range. So far so good, but I am just driving at about 30 to 40 miles an hour, so the car should be absolutely fine in these conditions. It's more on the motorway that I'm slightly worried about it, because some cars do a lot better than others, but this is based on the VW MEB platform, and I think the VW ID Buzz Cargo is one of the most accurate ranges that I've ever seen on motorway driving. So if this isn't good on the motorway in terms of range depletion, I will be very, very surprised. Very surprised.
Now turn left.
Now I'm going to turn left. Okay, I'm making decent progress, but I wanted to take a short break just to talk a little bit about this car and how I'm feeling about it. I'm having mixed feelings, right? So there's a lot of spec on this car. We've got 21-inch alloy wheels. We have LED ambient lighting. We have hands-free power-operated liftgate, 12-way power driver seat with memory, heated driver and passenger seat, both with massage function. There's a lot of great stuff in here. It's got like everything I could think of that you would need in this. The adaptive cruise control is great. The driver assists are all really useful. It's the first time I've driven a car with a warning for when you're going over the speed limit. That isn't really annoying. So usually those alerts are like, you're going over the speed limit. But this one was a bit more like, dude, you're going 1 mile an hour over the speed limit. You might want to watch out about that. You'll get some points on your license. So that's a good thing. There's lots of good things, but it's just not quite clicking with me yet, and I can't really work out why. And I really thought that this car was going to be like luxury. It was going to be, I don't know, like a lot to love about it. It's got a kind of surfer vibe about it, which I really go for. It's got an American vibe about it, which I thought I might like. It's like American, but also compact at the same time. But it just kind of is starting to feel a bit more like a Volvo to me, and a bit more like just a really safe, solid family car, which is not the end of the world, but I thought it was going to feel a bit more high end. But it's just, I don't know, it's lacking a bit of soul, I guess, one way or the other for me at the moment. I can't tell whether I like it or dislike it, which makes this review interesting. So let's crack on. Okay folks, so first motorway update for you. We're doing okay. We've got 58 miles left of this journey, so we're nearly halfway, and I have 224 miles of range left. So quick maths, boom, 164 miles of range that's left at the end of this. So we've actually lost 11 miles of range somewhere along the way here. I'm still in eco mode. I'm hanging at about 65 at the moment. So yeah, the range is starting to drop off a little, which is interesting. I'll keep an eye on that. I'm not going to slow down just to try and keep the range. I've got more than enough range to get back to London. So yeah, I'm just going to stay at 70, which is the speed that I like to be out on the motorway, and I'll see how the range goes. Generally, I'm starting to get this car a little bit more. I've got one hand on the steering wheel, no feet on the pedals at all because of the cruise control. The lane assist is kind of helping me out as well, and I can feel it kind of almost guiding me more than I'm guiding myself, which is strange because I never used to like that sort of thing, but as a motorway experience, I have to say, great. It's just really peaceful and relaxing. So I think it's probably time now to eat the plum. This is terrible content. The thing is that there's like, I know there's 5 of you perverts out there who are loving this. Problem is now, this is a brand new car, and I feel bad if I put this anywhere. Do I throw it out the window? I'm on the motorway. Good. Oh, hell, I knew I would do that. It's gone everywhere. Okay, so I'm at service station. I wanted to give you a little glimpse of the interior of this car now and show you how roomy it is in the back. So in terms of what we've got here, beautiful panoramic roof, which makes it feel incredibly spacious. As you can see on the Insta360, enough room for me to doff my cap to someone. So good headroom, knee room. My driver's seat is quite far back and I've still got loads of space here and loads of space here on the passenger side as well. So all in all, quite spacious, quite impressive, quite plush back seat as well, I would say. And we've got a couple of charging cables down there. The charging cable, I'm not sure if you can see this, that is so hard to get to when you're in the front because you can't see that from the driver's seat. So you're basically doing that completely blind, which is very hard. And then I'm going to show you the boot. We've got a ton of space. So I've got my very yellow bags stacked up there. Still certainly enough space for me to curl up in there, which I'm not going to do because I feel like some of these people might judge me. Underneath here, we've got room for the charging cables and we've got little cubby holes as well in the sides, which is always quite nice. So space everywhere, just an insane amount of storage and cubby holes in here as well. So you've got that down there. You've obviously got the kind of door stuff that you always have. You've got the secret plum compartment there. You've got this here, which is a wireless charging cable for your phone. 2 cup holders, the stuff that's in the center console, storage over there, storage everywhere. Quite impressive in that regard, I would say. I am so nearly there, but I am now stuck in gridlock traffic. I don't know what's happened here, but hopefully we'll get through soon. We have 500 yards, 0.4 miles remaining until our destination. I've got 188 miles of range left. So yeah, we'll come out of this with 187 miles of range left, which is 11 or 12 miles more than I thought we would have at the beginning of this video. So I am counting that as a victory for this car. Right, we made it. 118 miles today, using about 40% of the range. So for my money, that gives it a 295 mile real world range off of a claimed range of 355 miles. So I don't think that's bad at all. I'm always really impressed with the VW MEB platform when it comes to how much range you actually get versus what they claim. And when you get to the city, you tend to actually add range onto the car through the regen braking. So today, combined city, motorway and countryside, we got pretty good range out of this, I would say. But for my money, 54k for this, I think it makes more sense to go for the entry level version at 40k. You get more range, 375 miles of claimed range, which is probably going to work out at maybe 315 in real world. And for a car that nothing massively excited me or moved me, there's a lot of things I really like about it, but nothing that really gets my pulse racing. I think it makes more sense to save a bit of money. The entry level version is a bit slower. You've got smaller alloy wheels, but that's fine. You don't necessarily need those things. Ford have this obsession, I think, with their cars all needing to be fun to drive, or at least marketed that way. And like a Mustang is, a Focus RS is fun to drive, but does a Ford Explorer need to be fun to drive? It's a good, solid family car, and I think it's right up there with the Enyaq. It's better for my money than the VW ID4 by a long stretch. It's also competing with some of those Volvos that are in potentially a higher price category. So I think they've done a really good job here. I would just go for the entry-level version because the spec that they put on that almost puts you off the 54k version. And actually, I do want to get my hands on the entry-level version at some point and review that. So if you want to see that, if you want to see more videos from Electroheads, do subscribe, do leave a comment asking any questions if you have any, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.